And now, for your listening entertainment, I present to you the Movie Bluffs.
I'm Hondo.
I'm Frosty, and we are the Movie Bluffs.
We watch the beginning and end of a movie and make up the middle. This week we're watching Knowing with Nicolas Cage.
And you know, I always kind of forget how bad of an actor Nicolas Cage is until he starts talking.
I don't know who gave him his SAG movie card, but they should definitely be fired.
Isn't he the nephew of Coppola? Isn't that the reason he's in movies at all?
That would make a lot of sense.
Francis Ford Coppola. I'm pretty sure.
Was he in Casablanca? Am I just doing word associations?
No, I think that was like the top movie of the 50s or something.
Yeah. That could be Nicolas Cage's dad, right?
Oh, I thought you meant Nicolas Cage.
Okay. Nicolas Cage in a film noir. That would be classic. So Knowing with Nicolas Cage. The intro is the sun. It looks like the moon, but it's just the sun behind clouds. And who's looking at the moon directly? But
is
a girl
Nicolas
named
Cage.
No. You would expect that though. I'm pretty sure that's what he does off season.
Everybody expected that.
Yeah, like he comes home from like the set, and then he just goes outside and just stares with his scary face,
eyes wide open.
He's a.
He kind of does it at the end of the movie a little bit.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
A little foreshadow.
Yeah, a little bit of a foreshadow there. So who's looking at the moon? Sun. It's the sun. But a little girl named Lucinda.
Oh,
and she's looking at the sun, and she doesn't have any headphones in, but you know what she is hearing? Voices.
Oh.
Voices, and not the good kind. Not like, I'm doing pretty well with my life. It's more like the kind that's like,
if the audio zoomed in a little bit more into her ear, you'd hear, I'm Hondo, I'm Frosty, and we're the Movie Bluffs. She's just listening to podcasts.
And she's just staring at the sun, just trying to take her life as soon as possible.
And me.
Please. I can't keep listening to these guys. So recess is over. It's during recess, and she's of course just staring at the sun, and no supervisor is out there saying, "Hey, you probably shouldn't do that, little girl." So the recess is over. The teacher comes out. Hey, Lucinda, come on, we're all done. We're going to class. She's still kind of zoning out, and then I guess she eventually makes it back to class because then we're in class. The teacher is talking about to the class, we have our school opening. You all know about it. It's going to be our big opening day. And they apparently had an assignment about what they should do for the opening day as like a celebration or whatever. And the winner was who other than the girl that has voices in her head, Lucinda. She suggested to the class, or for the idea, that a time capsule would be appropriate. And in the time capsule, they would draw pictures of the future, what the future would look like to them. So these other kids can open and be like, oh, terribly wrong. No rockets, or whatever. So they start off, they're like, okay, we're going to hand out paper. You're going to draw, you're going to do the thing. And so everyone's drawing, kids love to draw rockets, space things, whatever the future, cars with no wheels, but still the cutouts, just because that's how kids do things, And
they just remove the wheels from the previous cars.
yeah, recycle, reduce, reuse, And they just pop them off and then slap some hoverboards on the bottom. There you go.
Perfect.
So the teacher's like, all right, finish it up. Assignment's over. Hand in your drawings. And Lucinda's still going hard in the paint on whatever she's working on. And the teacher's like, all right, like time to finish up. Voices in your head, girl. And then the teacher looks at what was that?
You friggin' freak. Come on.
Come on, you weirdo. This is your assignment. You won. Doesn't this make you less crazy or something? Isn't that how it works? So she peers over at what Lucinda's finishing up on, and the teacher's just disappointed. She says, oh, Lucinda, this was your idea. Lucinda didn't draw any pictures at all.
Nothing?
But she instead wrote a sequence of numbers covering the entirety of the page. Like it's the Matrix. Like she was just trying to draw the Matrix credits.
Yeah.
Not weird. No weirdness at all. Perfect writing, very linear, well done. And so the teacher takes it. Whatever. I guess it's got to go into the time capsule. And
looks over her shoulder and tosses it in the garbage.
She just puts it behind her back, crumbles it up, does a little behind the back toss. So she does, just in case, Lucinda doesn't seem so stable, so might not want to make her mad and throw away her drawing.
She says, fuck it. I'm going for the 3. Tosses it across the classroom into the garbage can.
She says, Lucinda, that's the stupidest thing you've ever done.
Ooh, curry.
Curry. Spicy curry. So then the ceremony's happening, the big opening, whoever the main guy, I think he's like the principal. So the leader of the school is there saying, oh, time capsule, blah, blah, blah. It's the school opening day. They put down the time capsule. It's like a little grate, like a street grate. And the teacher looks over to like her right and she just kind of glances at the sky, confusing, but also kind of like suspicious. She's like, weird. And the little yellow balloon comes up to completely irrelevant because it's just a yellow balloon. And then it goes into people looking for Lucinda. Where the hell did she go? It's in the dark now. They're in the school in the dark and no one can find her. She's probably just sad because she got her little piece of art thrown away, Her teacher didn't seem too nice.
She can't stare at the sun anymore.
Yeah, she's like, dang it, might as well just hide. Because that's
just
what normal
lay on
kids
the ground until it comes up again.
Yeah, she's really waiting for it. So then the teacher goes down like a dark attic-y basement style thing. She just walks down the stairwell and hears little tapping. And opens the door, and who's in there? Lucinda. And, she's got blood all over her fingertips.
Oh.
I think she was, like, writing or, like, scratching on the door. And she says, make them stop. Please make them stop. And we can only assume that the voices in her head were, in fact, the Movie Bluffs telling her the story of another movie that we made up. And so then we go into an odd mid-portion credit roll that's just kind of randomly placed because they did put a little bit of credits in the beginning and then they're like, all right, and now we sprinkle in some more. So it's a shot of the Earth from space, slowly zooming into a neighborhood house, and it's Nicolas Cage's house. And he's out there cooking some hot dogs. And he's also got a little telescope, and he's telling his son, hey, look at Saturn, because I found Saturn. And so the son comes over, says, oh, is there other life forms in the planet, or are we like alone? And Nicolas Cage says, well, like, judging by like the amount of stars, he's some sort of physicist guy. So he's like, the amount of stars and whatever. And he's like, oh, you mean 10,000 space, like 10,000 Earths, 10,000 stars. It starts quantifying like how many variables there could be and the possibility of it. And he's like, oh, like 10 million. And then Nicolas Cage is like, why are you asking me then? He's like, I'm just making sure you're listening. So his kid's some sort of savant with space and kind of a dick. Yeah. And so then he runs off. He's like, all right, I'm going to go watch a show. And he's like, wait, it's Hot Dogs on the Run night, my favorite night, you know? And so I guess that's the thing he does.
On the Run?
I don't know what it means. I'm still trying to.
An ad lib by Nicolas Cage.
You know our favorite night, Hot Dogs on the Run.
What if I said Hot Dogs on the Run here?
Yeah,
sure.
Just try it.
Whatever, Nick.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just put in a good word with me with your uncle.
Yeah. Just make sure your uncle can fund our next movie. Yeah. Sounds good as long as I can say Hot Dogs on the Run.
I think it's
that's
going
to get us a Grammy. People love hot dogs. That's going to get them. And so the kid runs off. Hey, wait. The kid's like, oh, I'm not going to eat that. I'm vegetarian now. And he's like, when were you going to tell the guy that gets the groceries? And he's like, open your ears, jackass. I just did. He doesn't say that exactly, but he kind of says that.
This is the little kid.
Yeah, the little kid, little smart ass that's actually smart. And he's like, well, great.
No more hot dogs. What about your hero, Kobayashi?
I thought you wanted to be like Kobayashi, son. They don't allow tofu dogs.
Son runs upstairs and tears down his Kobayashi posters on the wall.
He says,
I'm done with you.
I care about the animals now, Kobayashi, and you're a menace to society in my new venture. When you rebel against Kobayashi and the meat industry at like 10. And so then Nicolas Cage comes upstairs to put his son to bed. Takes out his little, he's got a hearing aid because all smart kids do. That's just how that works. And so, so Nicolas Cage is taking it out, putting it to bed. He says, you know, when I said that like there's no life out there, I didn't mean like that there's no possibility that your dead mother isn't out there in heaven or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I know, whatever. Kind of a thing to say. I don't know if that matters at all. Maybe they're going to meet his mom or something. I don't know. And so then Nicolas Cage goes up to the attic after putting his son to bed, and he's just plays some classical music really loud because his son can't hear it. So it's fine. And he's just drinking whiskey, sitting in a chair. Scene cut, classic music, whatever. Goes to class. He's a teacher. He teaches space and physics. Asks the kids, oh, what do you think the sun is comprised of? Passes it to some dumb guy. He says, oh, it's hot, you know, and that was funny. That got a kick out of everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed, you know, because that's the hilarious guy in the class, you know. But then he starts going into like, well, what do you think? How are we made here? And then he goes on to explain, oh, it's just a random coincidence of like gas and chemicals and whatever. And then one of the kids asks Nicolas Cage, he says, what do you believe in then? Like, what do you know, how do you have any faith in like what's your idea of life and the point? And he's like, well, I guess it's doesn't mean anything. And then he just zones out really hardcore, like stares. And the class is all looking at each other like, are you okay, dude? And he's still just like, yeah, I guess nothing.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the beginning.
Well, mine starts with so Nicolas Cage is out in the middle of the woods or something with his son, and there's like these flashing lights on him, and he's like, you know, you're gonna go and take this amulet with you. You'll know when to use it. And this, he's like, and you know, you'll see your mom, so stuff like that. And the kid's like, all right, blah, blah, blah. I love you, Dad. He's like, I love you too. And he's like, all right. And he goes, and Nicolas Cage stands up and like, all like, I thought he was gonna like gear up to defend against something because his legs were really wide. He just like stands up into this really wide-legged stance as the sun walks away.
He's doing the splits and just watching his son leave. He's like,
yeah,
just staring at the ground as it's the most normal thing to do. Or actually, he starts off wide stance and just keeps going deeper and deeper into this.
I've got a really good idea for this scene.
It'll really show my acting talents and my flexibility. It'll be incredible. People love it.
The son walks off towards the source of the flashing lights on them. The camera turns and it's this gigantic. It looks like you know what an Obermann sphere is? That like toy that's just like plastic ball that can expand.
Oh yeah, I love those. I had no idea that was the name.
Yeah,
I've been to a science museum once.
Obermann
we had all right
sphere.
funding. We had all right funding at our elementary school.
It was okay. There's some great football gear. But we had a couple Obermann spheres too. So it looks like a gigantic one of those made out of like metal, and it's like swirling around in the air, and this is like humongous. And there's these beings that come out, and they all look like the same, almost like what was his name, Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They're all like the short platinum blonde white hair, and then they like walk up as the kid walks up to them, and then they all of their skin turns into like a million pieces and flies away, and they're just these like energy forms in the shape of people.
We just took that form so you didn't get too scared, but now you can see us.
Let us have your son.
We are gas beings and we're taking your boy. What an idiot. So flexible, but we aren't even physical beings. We're gas. We don't need flexibility.
That skin
Nicolas, idiot.
There's a little girl with them too, and probably Lucinda.
Yeah,
and
probably she's always around. Any bright objects, you can find her there.
Yeah, that was the brightest thing she could see. She was probably blind. Now I'm thinking about it. That was probably her thing. He had bad hearing.
There you go. That's why she can hear voices. Super smart.
But she was holding two rabbits and just standing next to the energy beings, and they grab the hand and walk into that sphere, and it like forms more into this like spear and flies off into space. And Nicolas Cage is watching it the whole time, and the lights are like flashing. Then it shows a shot from like space to Earth, and there's like hundreds of these ships flying off of different parts of the Earth,
of course,
into space. And Nicolas Cage, after the ship leaves, he crumbles on the ground and starts crying. And then it's the next day, and he's still laying there. He's asleep. He wakes up to the rain. It's raining on him. And he wakes up. He goes to drive to the city, drive back home. He's in New York, and the first shot of him in the car, there's a bunch of like buildings on fire way in the background. And it shows him getting into New York, and the streets are just filled with like rioters and looters and, you know, Capitol stormers and
New York 2021. You know,
Hey, that's where they got the idea from. They all watched Knowing one day, and they're like, "We could do that."
Wait a minute, let's storm the Capitol. Maybe that's not how that all right sounds.
We'll call it a hot dog on the run day.
Who said you can't be racist to white people? It's hot dog on the run day.
There's military trying to control it all, and he's just driving his car through. And he gets to what I assume is his house. A woman answers the door, and she's like, "Where's Jacob?" And this is where his emotion and his line delivery didn't quite go together, because the whole time he's like sullen and like, you know, hunched over, and she's like, "Where's Jacob?" And he's like, "He's safe now." It's like
brooding, and then like,
yeah,
he's all right.
A smile.
Like, he's safe now.
But they go in. There's an old couple, and the news is like, we're going to stay on as long as possible. Just get to an underground bunker if you can. And the family all hugs, and he's like, "This isn't the end, son." And Nicholas is like, "I know." And then it shows outside of New York, there's a wall of fire coming through New York and just completely obliterating all the buildings. And it's just like coming through the entirety of the city. All the buildings are blowing up as it goes through. And they're hugging inside the house, and you see it get like really bright really quick outside, and their house gets blasted. and it shows like farther outshot of Earth that it's happening across the entire Earth, just this wall of fire going through.
All of it?
Yeah. The entire Earth. And then I think it takes the entire Earth over, and then shows a different planet, and there's that ship that the son got on, the little boy and girl get off the ship, and they put down the rabbits on the ground, and they start running away, but like in a happy way, not scared, towards this giant white tree. And as the camera pans around, it shows a bunch of ships landing in different spots on the Earth. They're running off through the field towards this tree, and that's it.
Wow. So we leave off basically the kid saying he doesn't want to eat hot dogs anymore because he's been doing it every day. And we can safely say that Nicolas Cage got this premonition just because his wife, he told the kid that his wife died, or that his mother died. In reality,
it could go to a flashback right there of what actually happened that day. So
that day at the county fair.
That fateful county fair day where the mother's there, and she's been the reigning hot dog eating champion for 10 years.
She's sick too. She's like bumping them off her elbows and like glubbing it down, She's doing some like behind the back. Spinning little hot dog on her.
Somebody like looks at her and goes, "Well," and goes eat, and their hot dog's gone, and looks at her. She has two.
Hey, crowd going wild.
But it looks like somebody's about to beat her, and she's got two left, and they have one. She knows, like, if she dips them in the water, it's going to take too long. She's got to take them dry.
Take them dry. What does she do?
Pounds them both back at once. But it's too much.
The shotgun dog.
Wasn't. I forgot we're not killing her off.
But it was too much of a banana peel on the ground.
When she falls off the stage and goes, "Ow, ow, 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 ow,
my hot dog eating career." So no, she shotguns those hot dogs, double shotgun barrel style.
It's not too much.
It's
we get a baller hot dog move anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No one's ever taken.
She just goes. Mouth goes straight oval, throat oval, and she just drops them in, and she says, puts her hands out,
holds the hot dogs up, and drops them down her throat.
Yeah, she just somehow mechanics, the mouth mechanics just open to an oval shape, perfect for two hot dogs, bun and all. Drops them in, hands open, and says, "I'm the fucking best hot dog eater."
Nicolas Cage going, "Yes, yes."
Yeah. But he also looks sad and angry at the same time.
But
Yes.
yes.
That's my wife.
That was incredible, honey.
For the listeners at home, we're doing odd Nicolas Cage faces because his emotional response is awful.
But it was too baller of a move. And they didn't realize that they've been being watched for the past 10 years by interstellar beings.
They had no idea that there was a light being in the crowd. There was a shot of the crowd that we all saw, and we were kind of focused on Nicolas Cage, but in the back to the right is just a glowing Nordic being. But he's not in the gas form.
With a trench coat.
Yeah, with a trench coat. Totally unfitting of the era too. Yeah, just some peaky blinders with the
entire body's made of energy.
Yeah, he's just trying to look as human as possible, but he's bright. He's really, really glowing. But
shows him, put a finger up to his ear, says, "All right, we got her." Ship comes
all
down.
Right. I think we've got our goddess.
And then he leaves, and they're going home that night, and there's two energy beings waiting for them inside their house.
But there's a driving scene first where they're kind of like, is that person following us? And it's just a sedan, but it's just glowing on the inside. It's just bright glowing. They're like, oh no, I don't know. And they turn off, and then they're in the house.
I feel like they've been tailing us this whole time. Oh well.
Whatever. Let's get to the house.
Yeah, so they is this a contract thing? Are they trying to work out a deal, or are they just stealing her away?
I think she's the goddess. She doesn't have a choice. This is her destiny for them.
And they have to have had the baby already, but he's just a little baby.
Yeah, he's like a baby in the cradle still.
So they're letting them know, like, we've been searching for our hot dog eating queen across the entire universe. We've finally found her. Nicolas says, "Wow, that's really something."
Wow, my wife. Amazing.
I've never been more proud of my hot dog wife.
My hot dog wife and her hot dog life.
It's time you join them, honey. Go on.
I think you don't have a choice, honey.
Let's get this movie rolling. Why don't we, beings?
This is your dog's destiny. Right, edit that out. Editor,
Hot
please
dog.
edit that. It's sure gonna be a hot dog strife raising this kid without you. So she leaves with the aliens. She hops in the Herman's Oval or whatever it's called. It gets the heck out of town.
And they say, "One day we'll be back. It runs in the blood. We'll be back for the boy." The boy, as their ship leaves.
Hanging out, just the boy. In case you didn't hear us the first time.
They leave a prophecy with him. In 10 years' time, he will be ready, and we will have no need for the rest of you. Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm. Huh. That's really something.
Yes, and interesting.
Yes, and I will be ready too. No. We don't need you. Just the boy.
And I'll escort him up. No, Nicholas. No. Just a boy and another girl.
Maybe a girl.
maybe a girl, but that's it. And a couple
be back
more.
for
Some
the best hot dog eating champions.
Kobayashi's children. Just a couple more children on the planet, and that's it.
Yeah, really something that they took her and not Kobayashi.
Yeah. So that's why he did the splits at the end too, because he just wanted to let them know, he was like, maybe I have skills too.
Look what I can do.
Look, like you try too hard, Nicholas. You're gonna burn alive.
So cuts back to current day, and he knows the day's coming up soon. But he's grown attached to the boy. In fact, he kind of likes his son.
It is his son.
So he's dreading it.
Yeah. And that's why he was so torn up when his son was saying, I don't want to eat hot dogs anymore. I'm a vegetarian. Tears down the Kobayashi poster.
He thinks, no, you have to. You have to eat hot dogs to live. You don't understand.
Do it for your mother. And that's really what that conversation was about. It was edited out of the film, but it was implied heavily.
Yeah.
Your mother's
the boy doesn't know yet.
You'll never meet your mother if you don't keep eating hot dogs. And he says, okay, I guess. I'm 10, but I'm not stupid, but okay, you're my dad.
When I said there's no chance of life out there, I didn't mean that, you wouldn't get to meet your mom because, well, the truth is she was taken away by hot dog championship aliens.
Which sounds ridiculous, but, the kid trusts him. That's his dad. He says, seems really fake considering all the earth science that I've learned in my 10 years of life.
You know what? If I can't convince you, then maybe I know someone who can. And then a door opens up. Kobayashi is standing right there.
He says, hey, I'm champion hot dog eater, Kobayashi.
Hey. Hot dogs took away my voice.
Listen, kid. If you don't keep eating hot dogs, I'm gonna kill myself. Not my longtime hero, Kobayashi.
It's not even Kobayashi. It's just some old guy.
It's some old Italian dude just in the classic white tank top and red headband that Kobayashi used to wear. I'm definitely Kobayashi.
It's me, Kobayashi. When I stopped eating hot dogs, my body started giving out. You don't want to end up like me, do you?
You don't want to look like this, do you? You remember how thin I was and how many hot dogs I was able to gobble down?
Oh, you know how good I looked. I know it.
Back in the days.
Where was I? Let me tell you a little story, kid. There I was, Kobayashi. I was Japanese man. There I was in the heart of Japan, my home country. And I was eating 100 hot dogs a day. And you know what? I never felt better.
And I decided to go vegetarian recently. And look at me now. I look Italian, but it's only because I stopped eating hot dogs.
You don't want to be Italian, do you?
You don't want to become an Italian.
No, I don't.
No, please, God.
He runs to the kitchen and starts guzzling down hot dogs.
He said, it's just Nicolas Cage and the alleged Kobayashi in the room now. And Nicolas Cage says, "Thanks, Frank. We almost lost him." He's like, "What?" He says, "The end is near." He says, "What?"
Huh?
He says,
"Oh yeah, I never told you."
nothing about hot dogs in the end of the world.
Did I never tell you about those hot dog aliens? I could have sworn.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, bye.
Here's your hoagie. Here's the hoagie we agreed on as payment for manipulating my child.
So it's perfect. The kid's eating hot dogs again. Hot dogs on
Back
the run.
on track.
Yeah.
Hot dogs on the run and the grill.
He gets a call on his cell phone. It's FaceTime. Opens it up. It's one of the energy beings. And they said, there's 5 more days.
Actually, it wasn't FaceTime that opened up. It was Space Time. A different app. A different app that It's like WhatsApp, You talk to foreigners on WhatsApp. Space Time, you talk to aliens.
They can connect on linked out.
Editor, please edit that.
Linked interstellar.
They still use MySpace.
Yeah. Tom sold it to the aliens.
That's why we haven't seen him. He's been out there. In space.
If you look back at your friends lists, everybody's Tom has been replaced with an energy being
called Trom with an L and an R. Tlarom.
Trom. So
we're on track.
5 more days. Whoops. That's just me saying it to myself. 5 more
He's
days,
just
Nick.
Looking in the mirror. All right, Nicky boy, 5 more days.
I need to get this kid into shape.
Into hot dog eating shape.
They're only going to save the best glizzy guzzlers.
And he's got to see his mother. If I can't go with them, but they'll probably let me go. I
still think maybe they'll let me go, but
I've really been working on my flexibility. I think that's what they might be impressed by that.
Yeah, maybe it shows a montage over the next couple days of him working on his splits. And then he's like, oh, wait, shit. The kid.
Him in plain clothes, just in his room, just trying to work on that split. Squat slowly down. He goes, ah. All right. The hot dogs.
Oh, whoops. God, where did the glizzy thing start? Washington, right?
I think so. Yeah, that sounds about right.
They call them glizzies in D.C.
Yeah.
I gotta get this kid to Washington.
So
maybe that's where he ends up like meeting the aliens.
Oh, it's like was it a prior meetup to the destruction of the world and the abduction of his child?
Yeah, when they take the kid, he's got to get him down to Washington D.C. That's the glizzy guzzler championships.
So they're whipping it to the glizzy glapital.
Oh, I forgot about
the Glentry.
The joke I was going to make. I forgot. and when he is about to enter the spaceship at the end, the kid and Nicolas are looking at each other, and the kid points to Nicolas and then points to himself, and Nick does the same thing, and then the kid like makes like he's stirring a pot, and then
does their handshake
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they do that together. And then I was going to say, and then the kid whips and then nays. And Nicolas Cage does the same back to him.
Dang. Maybe you can splice that in.
Yeah. I'll just take that chunk and
just smack dab in the middle of another bit.
So that's their little handshake.
Yeah, I guess they did that before bed too. Whatever, thumbs and then little thumb heart.
The thumbs
It's
and
cute.
like moving it around.
Yeah, Cabbage Patch. With Nene.
Is that how you nay?
I think it's. I don't know.
I'm watching nay. That one
Yeah,
of those.
Yeah. And that's how they
Okay.
end it too. They say bye.
Nay is just a goodbye.
And Nicolas Cage definitely slept there that night because he was so sad that he didn't make the cut after all his stretching practice.
That's why he was
Squirts.
crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't, he kind of liked the boy, but he was more just his championship thing to him.
Yeah. I think he already had time to like assess that, like, okay, the boy will be gone. I'm okay with that now. He's come to terms. He talked about it in therapy.
Maybe I'll get to go. Still crossing
And
my
then
fingers.
maybe, you know,
Take me
that's
with
just
you.
a side thing, but
Take me with you.
come on.
No, take me with you.
No, take me with you. Nicolas Cage. No, don't leave me.
That's it. Don't leave me. That's it. Don't leave me.
Don't leave me. And then there was definitely a Linkin Park montage after that. I tried so hard to lose. And it's just Nicolas Cage fetus and then
In the
pan out
end,
of the forest.
It doesn't even
In the
matter.
end, it doesn't even matter.
Hey, get up. Frank.
What are you doing here?
I brought
can't
you a
just
little
be-
something. I saved you the last bite.
Just the
Oh,
butt end of a hoagie.
There's no
One
filling.
little strip of cheese, one little bit of ham.
Oh,
Thanks, Frank. Always know how to cheer me up.
So he's got to get down to Washington D.C.
Yeah. Say bye to his mommy and daddy before they die.
and say bye bye.
Bye, mommy, daddy. I should have told you about this.
I wonder who that woman was. That must have been his sister in the end. I was like, "Where's Jacob?" Because it can't be his mom,
Oh.
unless he was just tricking him the whole time, and his mom was living in New York. But no, she was taken away by hot dog.
That wouldn't work for the plot. Turns out Jacob was just kidnapped and told a lie.
Yeah, he went out in the forest and took a bunch of acid.
Yeah.
I saw these energy beings.
Come on. You don't see them, Jacob? Come on.
So
Jacob never existed.
it's the day of the big championships.
Dun, dun, da, 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 dun, da, da, dun, da, da, da.
Nick is massaging the boy's throat. Massaging his goiter.
Wait, are they in space? Are they in space or are they?
Well, they haven't taken the boy yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's just there's the big contest to see who they're gonna take to their world,
Oh, right. There has to be a contest before
They're
they
trying
get.
to create a new world full of the best hot dog eaters that the universe knows.
Right.
Then they're gonna put a big pile of hot dogs and make them fight for it.
Yeah. And there'll be a tabulator for every person, so they know how many they're eating as they go,
Yeah. And so it fuels their energy. They need to get like all that food sucked down as fast as possible, and it refuels them so they can live. Something's got to form fuel that energy bodies they got.
Their gas forms, that's what does it. They need other beings to eat hot dogs.
Yeah, something about the consumption and breaking down of hot dogs.
It's like Monsters Inc. and the Scream capture.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
They just got a bunch of cans next to them that's sucking up the energy.
Hot dog gas. So he's massaging his throat. He's saying, all right, little Jacob.
We gotta get that throat warmed up.
You gotta get that.
Pushing it in.
Doing some karate chops on the throat. We gotta get that nice and strong. Make sure you can take down all the hot dogs. Make sure you flex your hot dog eating muscles.
I snuck a needle into your opponent's hot dog. He won't get very far after that. If that kid in my class is to be believed, then none of this matters anyway.
I get So the aliens, they start the competition.
Yeah. No, they're just there. They're part of the crowd.
Okay. Let's go.
Only the best will come, and the rest will be destroyed.
The rest will burn a fiery death.
Except me, right?
Except my flexible legs, correct?
We'll get to that later.
Right.
Judges, bring the hot dogs.
It's a cloudy meatball situation where the hot dogs just rain down.
Stacking perfectly in a pyramid.
You know? Yeah. It's pyramids, there's multiple piles. Vegan.
You start fiercely eating.
They're noshing on the glizzy.
Maybe they haven't said they're going to destroy the world after this, but maybe some of the kids are trying to hide the fact that they're guzzling glizzies, and that doesn't sit right. It doesn't sit right with the judges.
Dang, and they don't care if they're hiding they're disguising their glizzies. They want to make sure the best hot dog eaters will come. So they got to tell them.
They feel like
they got to make it a real situation.
Don't hide your glizzy gobbling.
Gobble them glizzies.
Maybe the rest of you aren't what we thought you were. Stop the count. Stop the count. We've picked our winner. The little boy with the strange dad.
The boy with the unflexible dad.
We did it.
Yes. And also the blind girl who likes to stare at the sun.
You, blind girl over there.
Blind orphan girl.
Would you like to come too?
Would you like to come? You never really could find the hot dog pile, but we believe in you.
Those voices you were hearing were probably us, but we forgot to get to that.
That was Knowing with Nicolas Cage.
Thanks for listening in. If you want to follow us, get some more info on us, you can go to our Instagram at the Movie Bluffs.
You can also send your questions and comments, or if you just want to have a little chat with us, email us at themoviebluffspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to eat your hot dogs.
Despite all my rage, I am still just Nicolas Cage.